Thank you to my top Patreon supporters. So, it really is that time for another video here today. Hello, it's your boy Toon Taylour, and I am here for my questions and review of Young Justice Season 4 as the mid-season finale has just ended. I kind of wanted to talk about what went down in the 13 episodes and kind of ask some questions for what's gonna happen in the next half of the season. So yeah, I didn't get to watch it. I wanted to watch it on my channel. Never happened. I don't know how people do it. I couldn't figure out a way to watch Young Justice Season 4 on my channel, but I'm going to try again and get it for the next half of the show. But yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of break down some stuff that went on in the show, starting off with how the show was broken up. It was broken up into, we watched basically 3 different stories, but they were connected. So we started off with Connor McGann's wedding taking place a year after all the shit that happened with Young Justice Season 3 or Outsiders. They went to Mars, all that stuff, and it ended with Connor dying due to the kryptonite and the lack of him being exposed to the sun. I'll get back to if he's dead or not at the end. But yeah, it ended with that, and to be honest, I gotta have to put this as the weakest storyline. It wasn't bad. It was the start of the show, and it just felt kind of slow at times. But we see that this was also setting up. It felt like it was setting up the Legion of Superheroes, but then it kind of didn't, and then, you know, Superboy died, and then the Legion of Superheroes haven't been seen much since then. But yeah, that story to me just kind of felt a little weak compared to the next two. Speaking of the next one, which is the Artemis Legion, Artemis League of Shadows and her sister storyline, where she was helping. She wasn't really helping. She was like conflicted between what was her name? Was her name Onyx? Onyx and Cassandra, because they both claimed that they stepped away from the League of Shadows, which was bullshit, by the way. But I like that story because if you're not a comic book reader, it was really interesting to know the fact that spoiler is Lady Shiva's daughter. That was a story I was not expecting. That was absolutely pretty cool in a way that I was like, oh shit. And the fights in that one was damn near spectacular. But yeah, I put that as the second strongest. And to me, the strongest storyline of all, the one that we ended it with, was Zatanna and the whole thing with the Order and the Lords of Chaos, where Clarion and Child fought, and Dr. Fate and everything. That to me was by far the best one. It literally left me with so many questions. Yeah, I just want to talk about that. So now I'm going to get into my questions. Like I said, we were going to talk about Connor at the end of at the end of the mid-season finale. We see that Zatanna touches the bus that Clarion was using to go through through time to find them, and she sees Connor asking for help. I believe this is Connor stuck in the Phantom Zone. He is not dead, but the reason I say he's stuck in the Phantom Zone is because I want this to be the gateway opening to bringing back Wally. I know a lot of people have already given up on the fact that Wally's not coming back. I was honestly very disappointed that Connor was killed off, but now that we see that he's not dead, or maybe dead, not dead, still stuck in the Phantom Zone, I think this may finally open up to the fact that Wally may return. It could be, but it also couldn't be, because at the end of season 3, Artemis did have her closure with the fact that Wally's dead, and now that she's in a new relationship and teaching and all that stuff, that would kind of conflict what's going on in the current timeline, but I feel like killing off Wally was very unnecessary. If Wally is not dead, then I have 100%. I 100% believe that he is either going to be introduced in the Phantom Zone, or the Phantom Zone is going to introduce the Speed Force, because I believe this universe where Young Justice is set, there is no such thing as a Speed Force. So that's probably where Wally is. I don't believe Wally is dead, by the way, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, that was my one thing I want to talk about, is Connor Kent not being dead, because that is such a, like, these are pivotal characters in the show. Killing them off is literally bullshit. So hopefully Connor's trapped in the Phantom Zone, hence the name Young Justice Phantoms. I hope they bring him back, and I hope this also hints to a Wally return. The next thing I wanted to talk about was at the end we saw the story. At the end, Zatanna told Dr. Fate that her, 13, and Khaled were gonna take turns wearing the helmet of faith, so that her father could finally come out of being Dr. Fate for the last 10 years. And we saw that Mary got upset and did become Sergeant Marvel, which I'm going to talk about that too. I think Sergeant Marvel may be evil now. But if you look at it, the whole thing with Mary was that she played the role of superhero. And then you would think after they learned their lessons, going through Fate's mind games, she went and stole their Khaled and 13's powers to use against Child. Then she did it again moments later, but this time with Zatanna and the trees and the birds and everything. So, like, honestly, Mary just has a listening problem, and she's obsessed with power. So her becoming evil literally makes the perfect amount of sense. But I wanted to talk about Khaled, because I did have to look him up because I didn't know who he was, and I do see that he becomes Dr. Fate later on in the series. With him going first, I'm curious to see if he is going to abide by the deal, which was to switch bodies every week. I think this is where, because Khaled told 13 and, is it 13 or 19? I got confused. Oh, it's 13. I'm not stupid. It's 13. That they both have families, so they should spend time with them while he becomes Dr. Fate. I think he's going to permanently stay Dr. Fate. I just think that's what's going to happen. I think we're moved into him being Dr. Fate, and he's just not going to abide by the trade, which I'm not mad at. I think this would be a perfect way to keep his character interesting and not really take away from Zatanna or 13. But I think him staying as Dr. Fate is the perfect way to progress his character. Another thing that we've seen throughout this first half of the show is Beast Boy. This man is going through it. We already saw originally that he blamed himself for Brion going evil, and that's why he's been trying to stay hella protective of Connor. And then Connor dies in front of him, technically, and he's out of the loop. He can't sleep. He's taking sleeping pills. He's not working with the outsiders or doing his show. He's literally on a downhill spiral. And then his girlfriend comes up, and his girlfriend shows up, and he's just like not fucking with it. And I think Beast Boy is on the path of very troubling times. I'm hoping he can get out of this. I'm hoping this whole Phantom Zone with Connor can snap this man out of it, because he is broken, and it's understandable. Connor was like his brother. He was going to be his brother-in-law, and he doesn't look good. He honestly doesn't look good. The couple other things that I want to see in next season. What is Nightwing and Aquaman's story is going to be, because the opening is only focused on the main seven, whereas the past it's been like the first opening focused on the main six. Then we had yeah, we had the focus on the main six. Then we had the invasion and outsiders, where we added new characters. But then we've transitioned back to where we saw Nightwing, Rocket, all of them. So what are Nightwing, Aquaman, and Rocket stories going to be around? Because they had we saw very little of those three in these in these other three stories of this first half of the season. So I'm very curious about that. And my last thing is Markovia over? Because it's been a year. They mentioned it at the beginning, and then they just stopped touching on it. So is the Markovia storyline done? Like, genuinely? Because if it is, it's very unsettling. If it's not, how are they gonna set that? That's literally the only questions I have. But yeah, I'm excited for the second half of the season. Again, I hope to get that up on the channel. But it's been your boy Toon Taylour here with my questions and review of the first half of the season for Young Justice Season 4 Phantoms. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like. If you're new, please subscribe down below. And I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.